guys, welcome to the first division review show of the season. Delighted to welcome Cian Menton as usual and JP Fatty as usual as well. Cork City won, Cobh won actually. We'll start off there. Now I didn't see the game, but you did, Cian. I heard Cobh were lucky, or unlucky rather. Cork were a bit lucky. Is that true?
Yeah, Cork were very, very lucky to come out of that with a win. Like, I was surprised, to be honest with you, that it was actually, like, in terms of the game, I don't know what happened on the stream, and it was the same. There was a bit of a nightmare. But like, I was just, Cork were very poor, and look, McNulty had another shocker, and you know, he really did. I don't know if you've seen it, but I heard about it. But he had an absolute shocker, and like, you know, that's a serious problem for Cork, and it has been for the last couple of seasons. And you know, it's definitely a big downfall. But I said it before, if you're looking though, like all through the league in the first 2 weeks of the season, how many times has a keeper or an opposing team made a mistake that led to a goal? Like, I think it's probably one in every game at the minute. Like, so going right through the league. So, you know, that's something that's for some reason it's just happening this year. But I was disappointed with Cork. I thought I expected a little bit better, but that's taking nothing away from Cobh. They were excellent. The way they played, look, some players making that debut and everything, I was really impressed. I knew the score watching the game, so I was kind of waiting for it to happen. But I have to say now, I thought Cobh definitely deserved a draw. Like, Cork were lucky to get a draw if they got a draw. Like, so if anyone was going to win it for me, it would have been Cobh. If I was watching that game and I was saying Cobh, I would have put my money on Cobh. So I was disappointed to see that they came over with nothing. But, you know, Cork, this division is going to be tough, like, and without being disrespectful, I think Cobh probably be one of the weaker sides, and that's a compliment to the league that I'm saying that. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I'm saying Cobh are one of the weaker teams, but yeah, they can definitely turn up on that day and beat anyone. So they're gonna have to brush up if they want to finish anywhere near where they're expected, let's say.
I suppose JP, Cork City could look on this and say, look, we grounded out results, so they'll be happy in that sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. First game of the season, the Derby as well. They'll be delighted to get the one. I don't think a lot of people are tipping Cork to be near the top of the table this season. So if they hadn't won this game, there would have been more questions asked about Cork's ability to fight for promotion. But the fact that they've got the win under their belt early doors, and the likes of Shelbourne, Galway, and Bray, who people are many tipping to be up thereabouts, have all drawn 0-0. But it is a long season, and anything could happen over the course of a season. So yeah, Cork will be delighted that they've ground out a win, and Colin Healy will be hoping that they can take that result and their determination to get the result out of that into the rest of the season.
There's a bit of a scuffle, was there, in the last few minutes, Cian? Was it handbags or what happened there?
There was nothing in it, nothing to talk about. Like, you know, some people like saying that, you know, it shows a bit of fight and all. I think it's a lot of crap. I didn't see much in it now. To be honest, I lost interest towards the end because I knew the score and I knew there wasn't going to be no more goals, and like, so I kind of lost a little bit of interest and took my eye off it towards the end of the game. But it's, you know, I was looking, Cork, like I said, be delighted to get the win. They grounded out. They dug deep, which they're going to have to do in every game. But I was disappointed in Cork. Like, I expected the quality of players that they have. I'm not saying they have really good players or anything like it, but you'd expect them to, you know, put up a better performance, I thought.
Yeah, interesting stuff. On to Galway, I suppose, and Shelbourne, and this was kind of billed as the game of the weekend in many ways. Obviously finished Galway 0, Shelbourne 0. Glenn McCauley got sent off for what was, how do I be nice here? A ridiculous challenge, let's say, a 2-foot lunge, basically. Shelbourne, the happier, JP, do you think, there with that point?
Yeah, I think away from home, They were away from home, so and the fact that they were down to 10 men for majority of the game as well. And again, it's a point against one of their title rivals, really, isn't it? That's the two teams that everybody's anticipating to be fighting for the first division title. So, oh no, I think Shelbourne will be the happier, but I think Galway will be happy as well, not to get off their losing start. They're going to now their second game. They don't play an hour. They don't play 1 hour now for what, an hour 9-10 games. So, they'll be using that point now and hopefully using it to get themselves kick-started now from next week onwards.
Yeah, Cian, I heard this was a bit meaty, particularly in the first half.
Yeah, I picked the wrong game to watch live on a Friday night. I watched this game and I was disappointed. I expected more quality in it, let's say. It was your typical start of the season game. Clarkey had to make some good saves, and so, he had to be there, and he made a couple of saves, and there was one off the line and stuff. So, Galway were definitely pushing for him more. And towards the end of the game, it was Shelbourne were just happy with the point, and there wasn't much in the game, but there was no real quality, and I think that goes across the whole First Division this weekend. There was a real lack of quality on the ball, and that little bit of brilliance that you need in the game. And I thought you would have gotten abundance with Shells and Galway with the players. So it was your typical start of the season game. Both sides would be happy. There was a couple of challenges flowing in. McCauley's is absolutely ridiculous. And to be honest, I'm surprised he started with Michael O'Connor. You don't know what condition he's in and stuff. Look, we're not seeing him on the training pitch. But
again, Cian, that was another opportunity in a way for Macaulay. You know what I mean? I know he's blown it because in a way he's missing a few games. If O'Connor comes in and does well with Maddie, he's on the bench for the foreseeable,
Yeah, look, that's what happens, and that's football. Someone will take their opportunity now, and I think he let himself down, but he's only a young lad. He'll come back. I've no doubt he'll bounce back. But I was disappointed. I expected a little bit better in this game, but at the same time, it's the start of the season. You get out there with a point, it's a great result. So, I think it kind of balanced out in the end, but Galway would definitely be the unhappier of the two.
Yeah, UCD obviously finished 2-2 with Athlone Town, and Adam Wexford actually scored in the 90th minute to give Athlone a point. I think most of us went for UCD last week. I can't remember. I certainly did anyway. But a good point for Athlone, JP, really, in the end.
Yeah, I think I might have tipped Athlone to win this. I can't remember. But yeah, as a superb point, I think, for UCD, because again, Athlone have strengthened with a lot of Premier Division players, but I think we touched on it in the preview show that the Premier Division players that were signing are Premier Division players that clubs were happy to let go. So I myself underestimated UCD and overestimated Athlone and their signings. So it looked a superb game, just seeing bits and pieces of the highlights. But I think both teams will be happy. UCD will probably absolutely gut it that they conceded in the 94th minute. But I think going into the game, they probably would have been happy to get a point. And look, again, it's the first game of the season. It's not going to define anybody's season, but it's a good stepping stone for both teams.
Yeah, Cian, UCD obviously kind of are coming under the radar a little bit. I think we said that last week as well, but they're well capable of getting results in this league, actually against anybody, aren't they, on their day, in fairness?
UCD are dangerous in this league. Yeah. Look, they're definitely going to be up there again. I know I picked them probably to be fifth or something, but they will be in that. They'll be in that bracket with Cork, and they'll be in there fighting. So I expected UCD to win it. And they should have won it. They should have held out. There's no question about it. Without bossing the game, they controlled it, but without being too on top. Athlone, a lot of new players, a lot of new faces. So it will take a little bit of time for that to materialise in the squad.
Any impressed for you, Cian? Any of their new players on the day, or?
It was. To be honest with you, it was the fourth game in a row that I watched So I was kind of losing that slight bit of interest again in that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was happy that there was a couple of goals in it, which we've lacked in a couple of games now. But, you know, UCD be happy they played some lovely football as we'd expect the UCD team to play. I thought they were excellent in the centre. Athlone were good when they had the ball, and they could have been better without the ball. But I was impressed with UCD now, and you know that they're putting me up there now to talk about them again. And you know, like JP says, the first day of the season, there's nothing going to be won or lost here. But you know, it's nice to get the points on the board, and I think Athlone going into the game would probably be more disappointed that they didn't win it. But considering how the game went, to get it when you scored in the last minute, it feels like you've won it. So, you know, I think Athlone would be delighted to get the point and push on there for next week, a big one.
Yeah, that's against Galway, actually. Wexford 1, Cabinteely 2. Good result for Cabinteely here. We kind of said it's kind of like the two youngest squads, I think, maybe apart from UCD and the league, actually, against each other here. And a lot of people would tip them for maybe the lower regions of the league, to be fair. So, JP, it was great for Cabinteely to get off to a start and pick up the 3 points there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we described them as the two development squads, didn't we, really? Nobody's really expecting anything from them this season. I think, as we touched on it as well, Cabinteely would be really disappointed in how last season panned out for them, given that they were top of the league going into the restart back in June, and they just didn't really kick on. Maybe if it had continued on without the lockdown or anything, they may have done better in the league. So I think this group of players and Pat Devlin himself will be looking, they come into the season and show that last season wasn't a fluke for them, and that they were up around the top, and that it was just maybe a drop off given the lengthy lockdown. But it's always nice to win in the first game of the season, and no doubt that the Cabinteely will be absolutely delighted. But I don't think it's a shock that they won this game, to be honest, because I think Wexford are probably going to be near the bottom anyway. Cabinteely, I would say, would be in around the mid-table. But look, fantastic start by Cabinteely. It looked like they were in control most of the game. They conceded a goal middle of the second half, was probably put them under a wee bit of pressure near the end of the game, but they held out and got the 3 points, and they'll be delighted now going into next week.
Yeah, Keane, Wexford did bring in a lot of new players, particularly young players as well. But a guy from Aberdeen, they have Lon Turner, managed to score. I've been hearing good things about him. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding, but they'd be disappointed with that start at home, I suppose. They would have targeted that, or at least, in fairness, Wexford, I'd say, from their own point of view, obviously.
Yeah, look, Wexford would be disappointed that they didn't get out now out of a very even game, nothing in it. I enjoyed watching this one because there was really nothing in it, but there was no quality either. So, like, it was a very dogged game, and it was a very, like, let's not concede type of game, taking out chances. And, you know, there was nothing between the two sides. I think a draw probably, if you had to pick it, a draw was probably the fair result for me. So, but I still don't think Cabinteely will be up there. I can't see it happening. I see more positives from a Wexford side than Cabinteely, believe it or not, in the game. So Wexford would be disappointed. They need to get points on the board. They can't finish as low as they did last year. Like, you know, they need to be up there. I don't mean up there, but I mean they need to have a couple of more points on the board, and they need to be, you know, because they've added to the squad. So, you know, I think you need to see improvement every year, and if you don't, do something wrong. But because, you know, the likes of the players they brought in, I'm looking forward to seeing Robinson and stuff, see how he gets on. He was banging goals in for Pat's underage, and, you know, I was delighted to see him get a first team contract, and then he goes out on loan the next day. But, you know, I think Wexford will possibly be up there with Cabinteely fighting it out, like I said. But I just think Wexford might finish higher than Cabinteely, even though Cobh got the better of them.
Now, JP, there was one game on Sunday and Bray Wanderers drew 0-0 with Treaty. On the face of it, we'll get to Keane in a second because he watched this. He had the displeasure to watch this. On the face of it, though, a great result from Treaty. Like, first game, get a point in the Carlisle against Bray.
Yeah, it's probably something Tommy Barrett would have wanted, was not to lose the game. You want to, as a new club coming in a new league, you want to build confidence. And the only way to do that is to pick up points. So he'll be delighted to get they come away with a point, especially having gone down the 10 men in the second half. I think McSweeney will go down in the record books for the wrong reasons. So yeah, Treaty will be happy with the point, especially because it's come against one of the title people are tipping for the title challenger. So they'll see it as a very positive point. And no doubt that they'll see themselves, if they can pick up points away at the likes of Bray, that they'll see no reason why they can pick up home points against the likes of Cabinteely, Wexford, Athlone. So yeah, very positive start for Treaty. Interesting now to see how they adapt to a new league and a new team.
Keane, did Treaty actually set up defensively to try and kind of get a 0-0 draw, or was it just?
This game was awful. There's no getting away from it. Like, there was no quality, and I said that before, but now I mean it. There was absolutely zero quality in this game. There was no moments that you even half got up obviously for. There was absolutely nothing in the game. Treat you are comfortable. Like, Bray didn't really put them under pressure at all. Brian Maher had to make a couple of saves, but they never looked like they were going to score either. It was a shocking game to watch. Like, and I can't get my head around it. I just thought, that it shows you that Bray, they really lack Gary Shaw, and they really miss him when he's not in the squad. I know he was on the bench, but he wasn't fit. That's why he wasn't playing. Simple. But I just thought, like, Brandon Kavanagh, there was a moment in the second half towards the end of the game when he got the ball and he just drove. And this is when you're saying, right, here we go. And it didn't really come out. I thought, look, they didn't do anything going forward, both sides, but both teams defended well. I think both sides were comfortable enough. A point for Treaty is a great result. And to be honest, even a bigger result for me, looking at the game, for Treaty, when they went down to 10 men, they looked like they were even more comfortable. Just the way the game went. And, the red card didn't make any difference on the game at all.
No tempo change at all. No.
It didn't change the game in the slightest. Like, Treaty were just comfortable. And, like, I think Bray would be really disappointed. Like, they really need to up their game now for next week. Next week's a huge one for Bray. So, they need to be getting a few points on the board. But look, they didn't lose. That's the bonus. If I can describe it, it was basically the exact same as the Hurling game last night. That's how bad it was. Like,
pity the Hurling game wasn't 0-0, but anyway.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it was shocking, and I really hope next week is better, like, because that's 2 hours I'll never get back.
On a Sunday afternoon. As I'm going to say there quickly, it's a bit of a concern with Shaw being injured because Gary Shaw picked up a few injuries late last season, actually, for Bray, and you just hope for muscle injuries as well, which is always a bit of a worry. From their point of view, I think we did highlight before that we'd fear their squad this season in terms of, they're missing players and that. They were only missing Shaw really today, weren't they? I know Darragh Lynch, he opted not to play him up front, though. I think you said he played Graydon up front, did he?
Yeah, it was Luke Graydon, the height of Graydon now, in fairness to him. Like, he's big and he's tall, so you can see why. And on a day like that, look, I don't want to be giving out about too much about the teams. I thought the weather played a part in the game. Like, it was absolutely shocking weather. So I'd say that definitely played a part, because I've often gone to Pat's games and that weather, and you can forget about a game of football.
Wind,
so
disgusting. Wind.
Yeah. So look, I don't want to be too hard on the but. I wasn't a game that I'd ever watch back again.
Right, good stuff. I think we'll leave it on that bombshell, will we? Guys, thanks for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, and hit your bell notification button so I don't miss a video. Thanks again, guys. Brilliant stuff.